The preseason poll tends to be a place where the good teams, the blue blood teams, get rewarded. And we see a lot of that near the top of this poll with Alabama and Ohio State and Florida State and so on. Alabama has Jalen Hurts, who was, as a freshman, led them to the national championship game last year. Having Hurts back is a big reason why Alabama's number one, where Clemson, the returning national champion, loses Deshaun Watson. They're one of the few teams that lost a prominent quarterback and still managed to have a top 10 ranking. So I think there's the difference between those two teams. Listen, Alabama's also been recruiting unbelievably well under Nick Saban. They are, I wrote, the surest thing in sports. They're either winning the national championship, playing for it, or pretty darn close during his tenure at Alabama. So I think the interesting thing about the SEC this year will be, can any of those teams in the middle of the rankings, Auburn, Georgia, LSU, Florida, can those teams take a big step up and actually challenge Alabama? Or is it going to be another year of Alabama and everybody else? I definitely understand why there might be some skepticism about the USC hype, because there's been some false starts over the last 4 or 5 years since they had the big sanctions and coming out of the Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush era. This looks a little more legit. The Trojans come into this season on a 9-game winning streak with Sam Darnold, who might be the best quarterback in the country. He's the Heisman Trophy favorite. Again, I understand there might be a little bit of tentativeness to say, hey, we've seen this before and USC is going to fall flat. This is a team that no longer is dealing with sanctions. It seems to have found some peace at head coach with Clay Helton. And again, you might have the best quarterback in the country. Miami could be a team that's poised. If they can get their quarterback position worked out, Miami could be the team that we're talking about, like, again, that's back and makes a big jump, and it maybe even challenges for an ACC title this year. I think it does help college football when some of these traditional powers rise up again. A USC, the possibility of a Miami, Michigan and Penn State back in the mix. I think the big national brands bring a little more interest. And it also looks like it could be the year of the quarterback. For NFL fans of bad teams, you're going to want to keep an eye on college football this year, because there's a lot of guys who could be possible franchise-changing NFL quarterbacks playing in college.